And now on the line is Pierre Klein, the National Coordinator of ATD Ireland. Pierre, welcome to the programme.
Yeah, good morning, Darren. Happy to speak to you again.
Okay, cool. Pierre, I've talked to you loads of times on radio on this programme, so you don't need to introduce who ATD are to our listeners. But you launched a big project on Thursday. Could you tell us about this project and the reason you launched it, please?
Yes, thank you for asking, Darren. So the project is called Does It Only Happen to Me? And we want to collect stories of people who feel they have been discriminated because of their socio-economic background. So I'm going to explain this a little bit and why this project is important. In Ireland, we are all protected by what is called the Equality Act. And we are protected against discrimination based on various grounds: age, sex, sexual orientation, gender, religion, ethnicity, family choices, and various other grounds. So in these Equality Acts, there are 9 recognized grounds of discrimination, but very important is missing. Citizens who live in Ballymun or in Ballyfermot or in other places, for instance, and today are still hiding their address because they feel their CV will be rejected if they put an address from a deprived background. Other citizens are asking friends to call public services because they are afraid that if they call themselves and with their strong working class accent, they might not be listened to. So all this is called discrimination on socio-economic background grounds, and this is not, we are not protected against this. So we as many other European citizens, we believe that Ireland should protect us from this kind of discrimination, and the Equality Act should protect us. So to make this happen, we are joining many other activists who already started, and some TDs have also tried already to introduce a change in the act, but it's not enough. The government is still not convinced we should do this, and so we are trying to collect as many stories as possible of discrimination based on socio-economic grounds to make sure we can make the case in front of the Department of Justice and to gain a change in the Irish Equality Act.
Okay, you mentioned a couple of examples there. Do you hear much, Pierre, in your work from day to day of socio-economic discrimination?
Well, there was a big thing which was clearly already addressed by IREC, the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission, and this is the discrimination which landlords put on Daft and other platform for renting flats. We may remember all that 2 years ago it was still a very large practice on Daft advert to say no rent allowance. So in a certain way, the landlords were telling, we don't want you if you have a low income and you have support of the state to rent a place. So this was so blatant, so unacceptable that they added in Equality Act this first little new ground, which is you can't discriminate people if they are on HAP or rent allowance. But this is part of this is just the top of the iceberg of what is socio-economic discrimination. So this, we could say, this is already in the law. So some people say in the law they have already 9 ground and a half, because the little hub thing is already in the law. But we really have to extend this protection to all socio-economic discrimination. And this socio-economic discrimination happen in many ways. It could be people who enter a shop and they feel stressed entering a shop, because they know that because maybe of the way they walk or the way they're dressed, they will be looked at by security guards in a very special way. And other people enter a shop and have no stress at all, and they don't. So in a certain way, there is this type of treatment which could be called discriminatory and on socio-economic backgrounds. So another type of discrimination, which of course you can discuss, is it discrimination or is it security measure? But you have so many young people who tell us that they are stopped all the time by the police because the way they dress or the way they walk or the way they are together. So again, we could say, who is the police is stopping? Again, would it be a special treatment on socio-economic ground? So there are many stories which exist already, but we really want to make the case. So we need to collect them to make sure the people are protected, and people are also recognized. It's not only protection; it's being recognized. Is the fact that society, in the acts, in the law system, recognizes the experience of some of their citizens. And here I'm not speaking about socio-economic discrimination at school, which is also a big issue, or in the health system.
You're doing this project in conjunction with another organization as well, aren't you?
Well, first we have a small support, financial support from IREC, the Irish Human Rights and Equality Commission, which is interested to understand what socio-economic ground of discrimination, if it's recognized, what the impact could it be on what is called the public sector duty. So we are going to look at all these stories with the lens of what is called the public sector duty. What it means, the public sector duty, is normally all civil servants who are working in the public sector have to respect human rights and equality measures. So in a certain way, if the new ground of discrimination is recognized, they will have to be trained. They will have to be their practice have to match this protection too. So IREC is one partner, we could say, but also we are trying to work with some other people who already campaigned for this recognition. So there are some organizations who used to come together under what was called the Equality and Rights Campaign or Alliance era, and they did already some report on the subject. And some of the members of what was era Equality and Rights Alliance will join at some points in the process. And of course, we are interested to liaise with whoever is interested by this subject. We are open to take on board stories we wouldn't be able to collect ourselves, but some other people know them or can collect them. And we have a deadline to collect all these stories, these testimonies or experiences, and this is the 15th of March. So we have 2 months from now on to mid of March to collect stories, and after we will have to analyze them and to make the case in front of the Minister Stanton and others, so that the act is changed. The last partners, could I say, are two Fianna-Fáil TDs. It's not about Fianna-Fáil here, but Jim O'Callaghan and Fiona McLaughlin, who last year submitted to the door a private bill on the subject, and of course all the TDs, whatever the party, who are interested to support this initiative will be welcome also in this campaign.